Well, hello, Liberty listeners. Welcome to another episode of Liberty Road. Today, we get to hear from Kelley Workman, and I'm excited to have Kelley on for a few reasons. One, her backstory is incredible. You will be inspired by what this woman has done and continues to do, and it's sort of a make no excuses dose of motivation or inspo, if you will, but also because there's some really practical things as we step into this season of life where we keep hearing we need to do this and we need to do that. We need to take care of our bodies in this way. And so I want to get to the bottom of the things we need to be doing with Kelley. So Kelley, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited we finally made this happen.
I know it's been a long time coming. So here we are.
Yeah.
So let's just start for our audience who doesn't know, what is an integrative nutrition health coach?
Well, I have a degree in nutrition science. Okay, let's start there.
Yeah.
As an integrative health coach, I really look at the whole woman. So I look at your personal life, your friends, I look at what you eat, I look at what you exercise, how your day looks, at your family life. I look at the whole person, everything that makes you a woman. We actually even use a circle of life tool that's got 12 pillars in it, all the different things from love to energy. And we kind of go around and we continue using that over our months of working together to see how we've shifted our circle. So it's really a whole person approach to health and wellness as we age.
And you developed that. Why? Did you feel like people were not kind of doing things that were aligned with their life?
Well, and it wasn't that I developed it. I kind of changed it around from, it's been around for a very long time. But I think it's a good tool because I find when I work with ladies that we say we're doing one thing, but actually what's really happening is not that. We think that we're doing certain things, but we're really not. So I like to have something concrete in front of you that you can look at and say, oh, you know what? My community really isn't that big. I'm online and I like a bunch of pictures, but I'm really not physically active with some of my friends. I don't go to dinner. I don't do things. So I like to look at it and kind of bring the awareness that, like a check, I'm really not doing that. I think I'm doing it, but I'm not. So I think it's very good to have a concrete piece of paper in front of you to kind of reassess, kind of like a scale for your body, if you will, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of know what's happening.
So you just said something I thought was interesting. You just said, going out with your friends. How does that play into the work that you're doing as a nutritional coach?
Oh, wow. Well, I'm not the smartest person in the room, but there's a Harvard study that just recently came out, and all of the markers of our health and longevity that they studied, the number one thing was your community, right? Is being with like-minded people as you age through your entire life. And men really have it much worse than women, right? Women, we kind of do flock together more than men do. But even women, as we age, we lose those friendships. People move, we get divorced, different things happen. And so we lose those long-term friendships. So that's really the number one. I love to, between that and sleep are my two biggest things as a nutritional health coach.
Okay, good. You're in the right place.
Yeah.
You're gonna start preaching. I can tell. So, you have, and I kind of at the top of this conversation, I sort of nodded to this, but you have a really inspiring story yourself, and I meant that honestly when I said, like, and if she can do this, I can do this. Not because, I mean, you look damn good, girl, but I don't mean it in that way, but I mean it in this. If this woman who has survived all this and has all these children and has all these excuses, can muster up the energy to continue to move through, then surely I can. But you also say this. You also say, gosh, if I can do this, you can do this. Can you tell us the backstory that led you to where you are here or today?
Well, I love to tell it because I think people look at a picture on Instagram or they see something and they make all these assumptions of, well, you must have this or must be that. So I grew up a divorced family. I was a latchkey kid. I took care of my little sister as my mom worked. My parents were still friendly, but my dad didn't live with us. So I did all of the heavy lifting. My mom worked in downtown Houston, right? So I grew up already with a lot of independence, understanding what my role was. Fast forward, went to college, met the love of my life. We got married. We had 5 children. fast forward, I turned 40, right in the middle of going through menopause and everything you're going through, perimenopause, not really knowing back then in
Sure.
2010 what it was.
Sure.
Just knowing you're kind of losing your mind a little bit.
Yeah.
And then my husband got in a car accident and died. And it was a giant party we had. He was leaving. He liked to drive he had a bunch of fast cars, and he just didn't come home. So we were married for 20 years. We had 5 kids. So in about a 2-week span, we laid his body to rest. And I realized in that 2 weeks, we can't live where we are right now. So I uprooted all of my children and we moved to another city and just started fresh. And it was pretty shocking. And everyone told me that's the worst thing to do. Don't do it. But I didn't know what else to do. I knew where we were didn't feel right. My kids kept walking in the door looking for dad and he wasn't there. And that was painful for me and very painful. So I only say that to say that whatever is the right way to do things is not always the right way for you, right? There's whatever right is for you is what's right for you. And so we moved, and like I said, we've been married for 20 years. We had billions of businesses together and all these things. So I spent the next couple of years selling off different businesses and just wearing a bunch of different hats. At the same time, I had a real estate business that was thriving, that I also kind of had to try to keep managing clients. They were empathetic to my situation, but we still had transactions to make, right?
Sure.
So that was difficult. And 4 or 5 years in, I guess I was about 43. And I met my now husband, which was just a blessing because he actually knew my first husband. So later we've been together now for almost 14 years, but when originally I met him, I wasn't thinking anything. But I realized as we progressed in our relationship, no one could love my 5 kids like my husband that passed loved them except someone that knew him, right? Because hard for another person to take on someone's 5 children that are clearly going to have some issues
Sure.
getting through this, right?
Sure.
So it's just been such a blessing. It wasn't my intention, but fast forward to 45 years old, this husband didn't have any children. So he said, hey, can we have a baby? So, well, we are old. I have 5. I don't know. Let's try.
Yeah.
So I did. I had my 6th child at 45. I mean, I was just kind of going through all the things you're not supposed to do. I did them all.
You did them. You did them. Yeah.
I did them all. I did them all. And I don't regret one of them. I mean, it's made me, from being a child, doing all the things I did with my mom and helping, and to now as a 55, almost 56-year-old woman, I realize all of these things that were put in front of me were my steps. I could have made a different direction, a different choice, but it was just where my path was. Because as I had my 6th child at 45, my OBGYN at the time, high risk doctor, said, I think I'm going through menopause. I think I'm in perimenopause. And still in 2015, this is still kind of taboo to talk about, right? He wasn't accepting what I'm saying. He literally took me in his office, turned this computer around and referenced the study, and said, you need to not do anything about this. Your body is meant to die. It's doing what it's supposed to do. I remember thinking, I just had my 6th child by C-section, and you're telling me I'm meant to die? Like, I remember freaking out. So that is when I took it upon myself to figure out, what the hell is happening here? Like, what are you being told that it's normal? You're supposed to feel this way.
Yeah.
Clearly, this can't be right. I've worked out my whole life. I've eaten well. This can't be right. So that's when I met my doctor I use now, and she just changed my perspective, changed my life. I was yelling it to the rooftops. And I called my sister-in-laws, who were about 10 years older than me. I told them, hey, do you guys know about this HRT? Do you know? They both laughed at me. They're like, Kelley, we've been doing it for years. But then that made me think, I didn't know. Why didn't anyone tell me?
Right.
How could you guys not share this? But even they, at that time in 2015, 2016, thought it's so taboo. You don't want to tell anybody. You don't want to talk that you're doing progesterone or that your periods have stopped or any of this thing, which I found very interesting myself. So that's really what propelled me to be, hold on, I'm a normal woman and I have these normal things happening. I can't be the only one experiencing this. This is like total baloney, right? So that propelled me to start my journey of, okay, this is it. I'm going to shout at the treetops. I'm going to tell every woman, you're not alone. Let's do this together. Let's get in the kitchen. Let's get in the gym. Let's do things. Like, this is just nuts. So that's how I really got started. But my whole life has been preparing me for this.
And where did the nutrition piece come in? I mean, was that because you talked about all the businesses you had with your husband, you talked about the real estate, you talked about, and then you were in parallel after having a child at 45, going through perimenopause. So now this level of kind of the midlife, what the heck's going on, comes in. Where does the nutritional piece come in? Where do you have time
well,
for the nutritional piece to come in?
I wasn't feeling well after my husband died, which I wasn't feeling well because of my grief and everything happening. But I also knew my body was always, I was always a healthy person. I exercised, I did all kinds of things. The things I realized something was wrong. So I started studying, like, how can I learn more about this? What's happening to my body? Why? Well, I'm eating all these good foods in my mind. They were all good. Of course, they were not all perfect, but in my
Yeah.
mind at that time, they were good. So I just started learning. So I got online. I found a master's degree program. You could do it online. I'm like, let me just learn. I need to know whatever I can learn about this so I understand. So I'm a big proponent. When someone's telling you something, you need to have the facts. You
Yeah.
can't just go in and you speak Spanish to me and I don't know what you're saying, right? So
Yeah.
I need to have some backup of Spanish or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So I just started learning. And I just learned for 2.5 years online, just absorbing everything I could in that class. Finished it and realized, oh, I didn't know what I didn't know. Now I understand a little bit better. And I'm still learning. I still take continuing education classes, learning about gut health and different ways to promote as you age your gut to absorb more. All of these things, it's a continual process. But to back up a little bit, I did do some bikini competing back in the
Yeah.
day in like the Mr. Olympia, this because my whole family on that side is really into Mr. Olympia and bodybuilding. So I did have a nutritionist and I knew a lot about it, but just my own health journey, I felt like I need to understand how my body works, not how everybody else's, like what's happening to myself. So that really got my journey really going then.
And then what happens for you to say, okay, I'm going to take, I mean, you got a master's. So obviously this was
Yeah.
more than just compiling information for yourself. You're like,
Yeah.
I got to share this. Kind of like when you learned about HRT, I got to share this.
Yes.
That's part of your
Yes.
personality, clearly. Like, how can I tell more
Yes.
people? When do you then decide, I'm actually going to do this as a practice, as a business? I'm going to build this. She laughs. She laughs when I
I
ask.
laugh
Yeah.
because it's funny. So of my 5 kids, my number 2 son, when he got out of college, wanted to do what I was doing in commercial real estate, did a lot of development. So he got out of college and he started working for my company that I worked for at the time. And I didn't mentor him. My partner mentored him. I wanted to still like each other, right? So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
not want to take that. I
Yeah.
wanted to be the
Yeah.
mom, not the boss.
Yeah.
I know how that
Yeah.
works. And so when 2019 came and COVID was happening, it was really kind of my aha moment. Like, here's my opportunity. We're all working at home from a laptop, which was not normal in my business
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Then I started thinking, you know what? I need to retire from this because what I did for that other part of my life was 24/7 you're on. Like,
Yeah.
different time zones. Like you said, you're in California, the guy's calling you. I'm already in bed. He needs to know what's happening with this situation. I decided, you know what? I don't need to do this anymore. I'm going to retire. I'm going to let my number 2 son take this over and I'm going to do this full time. And that's really when I shifted and I just cold turkey shifted. Like, I'm just going to retire. I'm out. I told all my clients, I love you guys. Dakota will handle it and I'm done with this. And they couldn't believe me either. You're going to do what? You're going to do women's retreats? You're going to what?
Right.
I'm like, listen, this is what I want to do. I'm passionate. I know there's other women that feel scared and nervous, can't do this. I'm like, I'm just going to stop. So that's what I did during COVID. Helped me. I love COVID because of that reason.
I know, it's interesting. And you and I were talking earlier before we started the podcast about how many women we know in this kind of midlife space who have taken on, given their expertise, some role in expanding how we look at midlife and how we process it and how we can
Mhm.
thrive in it. And it's so fascinating to me how many of them made those decisions in COVID, that the
Yep.
pause that it gave us um, to consider what's next, what's possible, our own journey, how we can share that with other people. I mean, it's very much my story as well. But also, it's not lost on me, but that it was during a time when many of us were going through perimenopause and menopause ourselves, right? So it was this pause in the world, as well as us kind of like, something is shifting in me. There's something that is opening up in me. Would you say that was the case for you, that it was kind of this intersection of these two things happening?
I agree 100%. The first weeks that COVID was around and no one knew anything, it was more, oh, like, I'm stuck here. Now what am I going to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, for 2 weeks. I just wasn't thinking about that. I was enjoying a 2-week vacation, right? Still talking on the phone, etc.
Yeah.
But then I started realizing, hold on, I'm 50x years old. Like, what's next?
Yeah.
What am I going to do with the rest of my life? As I see some people getting really sick, some people dying, all these things, it made me reflect, like you're saying, where do I want to be in the next 25 years? What am I doing?
Yeah.
And then grateful to have the opportunity to have that pause to think about it, right?
Yeah.
Because normally in your normal life, I don't think we as women, especially, we don't really get that pause to stop and think for ourselves for just a minute in the peace and quiet.
No.
We kind of got forced into it, but I think it was great.
Yeah, especially when you have 6 kids, by the way. You don't ha
Oh, especially. That's
you don't
right.
have that moment.
That's right. That's
When
right.
you decided that you were gonna do this, you were gonna do the retreats and all the things that your friends were
Mhm.
like and your colleagues were like, "What are you doing, Kelley? Why are you doing this?"
Mhm.
Did you know right away that it was going to be for the midlife community?
I knew it would be for midlife women and some men because at the time I had a lot of friends that would confide in me problems and things they were having either with their relationship or
Hmm,
they were trying to exercise and their husband, this kind of thing. So in my mind, initially, I would help couples. Like if it was
mhm.
a wife, I needed to talk to the husband too because you both need to be on board. But a few pretty quickly, I realized I'm just going to deal with the wives and the husbands can do their own thing. They can get on board or not or find a different coach. Right.
Yeah.
I really wanted to focus with women because I felt like that's where I could be the most benefit to them.
And what did you find to be, as you were working with women, what did you find to be the kind of obstacle that you kept butting up against?
Well, I think the biggest obstacle still today is most women that I speak to, especially initially, depending on how they found me, if they were referred to me or found me cold turkey, is they've been taught not to prioritize themselves. I mean,
Mhm,
we think that we are,
mhm,
but we're really not, right?
mhm.
So, okay, I'll do that, but I'm going to wait till next week. Or, okay, tell me what you're going to do. Okay, so in March of this year, I'll do that. Like they just didn't feel the urgency to do it now, no matter what I said or showed them the statistics or anything. So I think that's still, even today, the biggest obstacle, them putting themselves first. It's like a guilty thing they feel. They feel it's lazy to do that or it's selfish to do that.
Do you think that as we hit this stage of life that we start to have a different motivation? Like I've heard people say, I just want to be able to hold my grandchildren or, lift my luggage above, put it away in the overhead compartment on an airplane, that we start to have a sense of if I don't care for myself now, physically, this is going to catch up with me sooner than later. Is that mindset taking hold or not as much?
Well, I think between like 45 and 60, probably not, to be honest.
Okay.
I have a couple of ladies that I work with that are older, 70. They absolutely just want me to get them strong enough to lift up a 10-pound bag of soil from their trunk and carry it to their backyard. They want to be able to hold their grandchild at a sitting position and stand up holding them. Like I'm literally training them to do the basic fundamentals,
Wow.
but they're in their 70s, but they've waited this late to do it. But still, I think that between the 45 and 60, they're just not quite convinced yet I should be doing this for long term.
Yeah.
Right? They don't see the end yet because they haven't had an incident that made them, oh, wait, my knee blew out. Oh, wait, I can't stand up. Oh, wait, I can't tie my
Yeah.
shoe. They haven't had that aha moment yet at that age group.
I just love following you on Instagram because I learned so much. You're still in Texas, right? You are still
I
in
mean, yeah,
Texas.
I'm in
Yeah.
Houston. Yeah.
Oh, you're back in Houston.
Yeah.
Okay, so you left
Yes,
and then
I'm in
moved back.
Houston.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so aside from people who have access to you, location wise, are there other ways that people can work with you?
Yeah. I do a lot of virtual one on one
Hmm.
coaching, whether it's nutrition or whole life or recovering from an injury or whatever their situation is. I have a 90-day Fat to Fit program also that I offer that's kind of pre-recorded and we have weekly meetings. So there's a lot of different ways you can work with me.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll just do a one-off also. You need something for a wedding. I program you everything out and you just take it and go. So many options.
So when we're talking about at the top, we described you as an integrative nutrition health
Hmm.
coach.
Hmm.
Um,
Yep.
but you're talking about fitness. You're talking about, just so we're clear, we're talking about all of it.
Hmm.
This is a kind of
Correct.
holistic approach. This is not just what we're ingesting. This is all of it.
Yeah, the thing is that I think it does a disservice. It's fine to see a nutritionist only, but I mean, if you're exercising or doing anything else in your life, food matters, community matters, your sleep matters. Are you on HRT or not? All those things matter because if you want optimal outcomes, you have to consider every piece. It can't just be a one this and a one that. Also,
Sure.
because when you have a one and a one and a one, they don't all speak to each other. So then one person tells you to do this, 1,000 sit-ups. Someone's telling you to do this, eat this, like, and they don't go together, right? So in
Right.
my mind, you're getting a bunch of people for the same price in one swoop.
Yeah. And also, you just talked about how those things kind of work in concert with one another. And if it's not
Yeah.
working, then all the things shift, right? You're not just shifting what,
Yes.
the 1,000 sit-ups or whatever. Um,
Exactly.
we've been hearing so much about bone health. Like you're in
Mhm.
this season of life and everyone's like, stop the cardio. It's time for, to focus on the bone health piece. But our heart still needs attention. Where are we getting that?
Well, the thing is that the Heart Association still says you need 150 minutes of moderate level zone 2, let's say,
Mhm.
cardio a week. So figure out how you're going to get it. You do need it. Your heart needs it. Your brain needs it. But also your muscles need weights. And you need a spin class for fun. And you need it all. You love yoga, take some yoga. Really, you need everything, a little bit of everything. So you have to figure out how that all fits in. But you definitely still need cardiovascular conditioning for your heart. There's no stopping it.
But this doesn't necessarily mean that we need to be hitting a treadmill for those who have knee issues or whatever. It's
Nope.
just getting our heart rate up on a regular basis. So what does that look like? Like, tell us.
I mean, if you've got bad knees, swim. Are you a bad swimmer? Take some swim lessons, right? Swimming
Right.
is an excellent cardio, probably one of the best because it has no drag on your body whatsoever. But your heart, keeping that face under the water when you're swimming, your heart is going up. You're getting a lot of good cardio. You can ride a bike indoors or outdoors. You can take a Tai Chi class that's got a little extra movement. I mean, there's a million ways. Wear a device so you can actually track your heart, right? So you know if you're really at zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because also I find that people are, oh, I do a lot of cardio. But when I look at it, they're really in zone 1 like they're walking. I mean, that's not really high enough to make enough of a difference to count as your 150 minutes, right?
Okay.
But there's a lot of things you can do. Swimming is my favorite to tell people if they've got other injuries, learn how to swim, even if you're not that good at it, because that's great cardio, even practicing to swim.
Okay. And that was, what did you say, 150 minutes a week?
150 minutes a week.
Okay. We can do that, right? We can
Yeah,
do
that's
that.
it's not a huge number. It just doesn't take the place of weight training or like a yoga class or a meditation class or you like Pilates or whatever else you like to do. It's in addition to.
And let's talk about the weight training.
Yeah.
We can do all of these other things that you just mentioned, but the weight training has to be a priority. We've learned that. We've learned it. If the only way you've heard it is just through scrolling Instagram,
Mm.
we've heard it. But can you give us, like, very practically speaking, what are we talking about? Are we talking about like little dumbbell weights? Are we talking about resistance? Are we talking about like full Mr. Olympia kind of, over your head? Like, what are we talking about here?
I always tell people, I want you to lift heavy, but if you're not someone who's ever lifted weights before, you must lift light and work your way up. Your
Mhm.
joints, your tendons, your ligaments need training too, right? So you don't go in, if you've never picked up a 25-pound dumbbell, you're not going to go pick it up and start trying to do something with it because you're likely to get injured. Therefore, you're going to get set back, right? So start light. You need to work up to, say, twice a week, you're lifting weights, starting out 30 minutes at a time. One day you may do an upper body, one day you may do a lower body workout. Maybe both days you do a whole body workout, one exercise for each body part. Whatever fits into your schedule is what I tell people. Don't look at it. I know there's a lot of research and a lot of awesome women that have talked about it, but most people can't bite off that much.
Mhm.
They can't, I'm going to do 4 hit classes. I'm going to do that. It's just, they can't do it in their regular life. They can't go grocery shopping and go to baseball practice, all these things they have to do and get all this in. Twice a week, 30 minutes minimum. Start there. You get good at that. Maybe you add an extra day, or maybe one day becomes an hour and the other day is 45 minutes. And you're always trying to work your way up a heavier weights, but you have to do it safely. Maybe for a month, you're at 10-pound dumbbells for bicep curls, let's say. Maybe the next month you can go to 12.5, and the next month you can maybe go to 15. You work your way until it's so heavy you really can't get 6 to 10 repetitions of the exercise.
Okay.
But you don't start out that way. You got to start slow, and it could be 6 months before you work your way up to that.
Okay.
So it's all about and being honest with yourself about it, what you're actually doing.
Yeah, that's sometimes the hard part, right? It shouldn't be, but
Yeah.
sometimes it is.
That's right. Sometimes it's good to hire a trainer so they can like
Yeah.
keep you honest in the beginning
Yeah.
and teach you what you need to know, and then you can do it on your own.
Yeah, I mean, just the accountability alone is kind of everything.
Yes.
When you talk about, I'm going to just get really practical here for our listeners.
Yeah.
When you talk about lower body, if we're not in a gym and we don't have access to kind of machines that can allow us to lift with our lower body, what are some lower body weight bearing exercises we can do? 'Cause I don't know how you lift a weight with your legs.
Well, that's a great question because you don't have to go to a gym. Now, you do need to invest a little bit in some dumbbells or kettlebells or something to have at home, but you can be very basic. I actually have many videos on my YouTube about this kind of home
Okay.
exercises
We'll
for that
we'll link
purpose,
to
right?
those. Okay,
Yes,
awesome.
to that. So, and they're all free on my YouTube. So just get some 10 pounds, 20-pound dumbbells. You can practice chair squats. So if you're not used to doing a squat properly,
Mhm.
sit up and down from a chair and then move the chair and then do it on your own. You can do walking lunges in your house. You can do reverse lunges in your house. You can do split squats in your house. You can lay on the ground and do glute bridges. All of those things are great lower body exercises that you can do at home easily with very minimal to no equipment.
And
Easy.
the weight that the legs are pushing up or against is our own weight. That's where the weight is coming in.
Correct. Or you're holding the dumbbell, say at your shoulders, or you're holding them down at the side. If you have dumbbells or a kettlebell, you might hold it here in the chest.
Okay.
Just something to add a little bit more because bone follows Wolff's law, right? Bone builds when pressure is applied to it. So you need a little bit of weight, right? To apply pressure to your muscles so they are tightened around the bones and the bones get stronger. So it's fine to start with body weight, but you do eventually need to add some weight to it, right? To help the bones stay and get stronger.
Okay. You just said something, Wolff's Law. Okay. We don't know that.
Yeah.
We don't know that, Kelley.
Okay.
So
Well,
tell
that's a
us.
fancy term.
No, we know it now. That's why we're talking to you. But tell us more because I think you're hitting on something that we don't actually know. We know if we lift weights that we're building our bones, but you just explained a little bit of the physiology here. Could you just say it one more time?
Absolutely. So Wolff's Law is just the premise that the bones can grow when you put pressure on them. And
Mm-hmm.
so how do I put pressure on my bones? They get stronger and thicker and denser, right? And you only have to your, what is it, 30 years old or 25 years old, and that's the max they're going to get, but you want to keep them strong. So Wolff's Law is bone will continue to stay strong as long as it has pressure on it, which is your muscles get stronger. How do your muscles get stronger? You apply weight to them to help them get stronger, help them grow. Not like a man, you're not going to get big, but you have to have some bearing weight on them so the muscles stay strong around the bones. Therefore, the bones stay stronger because the muscles are tightening around the bones, right? So it's like
Yeah.
this pressure, constant pressure that you're having. And you think this is why people that are overweight, the thing they have going for them is they typically have very strong bones because they're kind of always wearing a weighted vest, right?
Oh,
They
wow.
have more
Yeah.
muscle mass than a thin woman that I see. Overweight person typically has more muscle mass. They'll have more fat too, but they have more muscle mass because they're always wearing this weighted vest of fat on them. And so it's kind of the same. They've got great bones, stronger, thick bones, whatever you want to call them, because they've been wearing this weighted vest around them all the time.
That's
It's
fascinating.
ironic.
That is
Yeah.
fascinating. Okay. Speaking
Yeah.
of the weighted vest,
Yes.
what do you think? Is it a must? Do you believe in it?
Uh,
Is it like, I don't know.
I have two
Okay.
sizes. I
Okay.
like it.
Okay.
I don't think it's for everybody. I think that
Who's
you
it
have to
not for?
start
Who's
light.
it not for?
Well, I think that when your core is not strong enough, and I
Okay.
think that's subjective strong enough, right? If you cannot hold the vest up, chest is out, shoulders are back, great posture while you're walking and use it, if you let it slump you over, that's dangerous, right? You could get hurt very easily. I've had clients all the time, oh, my back's killing me now, and this is hurting me. Because also vests come in a 5 pound, a 10 pound,
Sure.
where women are like, why lift my groceries? I'm going to get the 20 pound. That's way too heavy. I mean, 5% of your body weight, maybe 7% is probably the max. Because if you're going to be using that, you should just go ahead and go to the gym and lift some weights, right?
Right.
I think it's great. If you're using it to go around your block and walk, I tell clients if you want to use it, when you get to every corner, do 10 squats with it, right? You're wearing it, do 10 squats. Get to the next corner, do 10 lunges per leg. Use it for more than just walking. It's good to use it, but do something else with it.
Okay.
I like it. I use it. I climb hills and I practice. Since I'm in Texas, we have no hills. I do a step up and I wear my weighted vest to simulate hill climbing. So it's good for a lot of reasons. You just have to be mindful that you don't injure yourself. Start light,
Okay.
very light.
But
Yeah,
what I'm hearing is it works. It's not for
it
everybody,
does.
and you have to figure out how to use it for your body. Like I think
Correct.
that's a good. If you start to feel the back pain, perhaps it's too heavy, or you're not using it the right way, and also take advantage of it beyond walking.
Yeah. And it's like maybe start for just 10 minutes a day. You use it 10 minutes on the day you're going to use it, and that's it. Don't, I'm going to walk for an hour and use it the whole hour. Your traps are going to be so sore in your shoulders and your chest because you're not used to having that pressure down on you like that. So it's a lot. Start, if you're going to try one, anyone that's listening, 10 minutes and take it off.
Okay.
And just start slow.
Okay. You heard it here. Okay, I think there's 3 groups listening to us. I think there's the woman who hasn't been doing anything. She's the one that probably has prioritized everything. She hasn't really been watching her food intake. And I'm not talking about from a calories point of view. I'm just talking about how is she fueling her body? And she's not really exercising for optimal results, right? Then there's, I think, the next person who is trying things and kind of hitting a wall. And maybe that's partly because she's hitting midlife and the things that have been working for her or had been working for her are no longer working for her. And then there's the other woman who I think is, well, let's address those two, because I think most of us I don't want to complicate it. I think most of us will find ourselves in one of these camps. What say you, Kelley Workman, to those 2 camps? Like what should we be doing, or what's an easy way for us to start besides checking out your YouTube videos?
It's funny because the majority of ladies that I work with are your number ones.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They kind of exercise. Maybe they took Zumba years ago.
Yeah.
They did weight loss drinks or whatever. They do a little bit, but they're not doing anything consistently. So I always tell them, let's start small. I like you to take a week and kind of pay attention to what you're doing. Every day, what do you do? How much coffee do you drink? How much sleep are you getting? What are you eating? And then let's evaluate where we can make one small tweak. One thing is all I want you to do. Maybe I see that you drink 12 cups of coffee a day. I might even just start with something simple like that. Hey, let's try to bunk that down. Maybe if you can have 2 and let's have this tea instead. Let's try that for the week and then let's move on. So start very small. Maybe they're already doing something and I'm like, let's just give some walks. Maybe they have a desk job. Let's have some walking snacks in your day. Every day I want you to walk for 15 minutes at your lunch and before you go to work or whatever. Something very, very small. Just don't bite off too much. And each week, add something else that you would like to change. Do not ever try to change 100 things at once because none of those are going to stick.
And is there something kind of that's happening in terms of we're paying attention for the first time? So even that one small thing has more of an aggregate impact because all of a sudden we're becoming aware of our habits?
I really like for people to feel their wins. That's another reason I want you to feel that you can do it, because most of our number ones, which I said is 99% people that I see, have started and stopped so many times in their life. So mentally, even though you say you want to do it, your brain's saying, but you can't do it. You always want to do it and you can't do it. You're never going to do it. So if I can give you one win that you actually do for the week, I've already started now your mindset. Again, that's why I treat the whole person. I've started your mindset thinking, oh, I did do that. I didn't really miss that 11th cup of coffee today or whatever,
Yeah.
And then they have the win at the end of the week and they're like, oh, let's celebrate. What's the one thing I can do the next week? And that little bit of motivation is invaluable of anything else I do, because it's really difficult whenever you have for years tried to do something and you've gone on and off, even though you've done well, but then you fell back or whatever. Your brain is so strong. It's like, no, you can't do it. You always want to do it and you can't do it. So pick something super small, and you can even be ridiculous. Like of course I can walk today. Well, then go do it. Do that one thing. Just go walk to the block and back. When they finish that week of doing that one thing, I can't tell you, 100% of them are like, okay, let's go. What's next?
Yeah.
They recognize they got that win inside of them, and it's beautiful.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And something that we can actually do. Okay. Now answer for the other woman who has been doing all the things, has in general taken care of herself. It's not working anymore. What she's ingesting, what she's doing exercise wise, like something's not working and she's feeling fatigued. She's, the midlife middle, all those things. What do you say to her?
Most women I have in this area are just really, to be honest, doing too much. I know that sounds funny to what we're talking about today, but there's also this whole group that if I don't go to Orange Theory 5 days of the week, if I don't run 4 miles on Sunday and 5 miles on Monday, like they don't have a rest day. They don't have a recovery program in mind. They're doing weight and they're not eating enough to fuel it. And also their hormones are changing. Their gut biome is changing. These things are changing as we age. This number 2 group is also difficult because they always tell me, but when I was 20, I did this. But I remember being 30, they don't recognize, okay, but now you're 55. even though you've been doing all this exercise, it's too much. Your body is so inflamed, it never has a recovery period. So your belly fat's not going down. It's just having trouble eating. You feel exhausted. You're having this nagging back injury or nagging knee injury or shoulder injury because you have no recovery built in. And so I have to really work with those ladies as to pushing, stopping a little bit. And it's very difficult for someone that's been doing a million things like that to push back. But when they buy into it, they also are like, oh my gosh, I actually can do less. I look better. I feel better. And I'm getting so much more recovery. I'm taking yoga twice a week now. Great recovery. I'm in the cold plunge now 3 times a week and I feel amazing. Whereas before they would have never thought to do that. So also just shifting the mindset as we age, what our body needs to feel 100% again.
It's
It's
interesting.
not what we did when we were 20.
No. And it's interesting how even in the second group, it's the same mindset thing. Your mind saying, oh my gosh, if you miss a day, it's going to show, or you're going to feel it,
Yes.
or you're going to, that we had been trained both our age. And I think that sort of decade of when we were getting into exercise, that was the mindset as well.
Yeah.
You've done so much for so many people. I think it's probably really easy for you to think about, or for me to see how you've liberated others. But I'm curious how this work of coming alongside people, working with them to take a look at how to live and thrive better. It happens to be in your case with nutrition and fitness. But how has it liberated you?
Well, my whole goal as a coach for women is to teach you what you need. So then I'm no longer your coach. We are just friends. We are friends forever. We are forever entwined in some way, right? So watching someone, like I said, even the small win they would do if they're the number one on our exercising group, getting that small win, it makes me feel so good because it makes me realize what I'm doing is important. Because somehow my personality, and it doesn't work for everybody, but my personality somehow has helped this person recognize they have it in themselves, right? Whether they see it in me or whether they just finally like, forget, I'm just going to do what she says and see if it works. And when it works, it's crazy. It's just it's the most beautiful thing. And when I can actually say, hey, we're done. Our program is over. Program is done. They're like, we don't have any more Zoom calls. I'm like, I mean, you can Zoom call me. You can call me or text me, but you don't need me anymore. This has been 6 months. You're amazing on your own. You don't need me. You have good ideas on your own now. Now you go tell someone. And when I see those women that have daughters, especially if they're younger daughters in the 10 to 15-year-old daughters, and these daughters start doing things with their mom, making meals, exercising, running 5Ks with them, whatever they want to do. Oh my gosh, from my own perspective, having 6 kids, I think that I've done something amazing. And I've just turned all my years of ups and downs, if you will, into pathways that other people can then share it with their family. And then those kids can share it with their kids. And it just makes me so happy. And it just freed me from thinking that I'm stuck in this other career my whole life, that wow, I'm actually doing something that means something for generations. I will be long gone. I won't even know that the little girls that are like exercising and understanding their mindset and when they have a problem, what they do with it. And it's just very exciting. It just liberates me from all of that. It's very exciting.
The ripple effect of Kelley's
Yes.
work. That's amazing. Thank you for giving us some really practical tips that we can sort of sink our teeth into. I'm gonna cheat and ask you one last question. What
Ask me.
do you want to say to our listener who is feeling stuck in, I would say, in general? Because what I heard you just say when I asked the liberating question um, reminds me that often it begins with taking care of ourselves. That's when we start to see what opportunity and what possibility could lie ahead. But it begins with taking care of ourselves. And that's the work that you're very intimately doing. What do you want to say to our listener who is feeling like she doesn't know where to begin, how to take care of herself?
Well, I love this question. I didn't know you were going to ask me it,
Yeah,
but
I know.
this is my
I didn't either.
But I love it because this is my elevator pitch I give to everyone. Everyone probably has flown on an airplane before, right?
Yeah,
What I tell you to do. If the mask comes down, put it on yourself first, and then your little person, husband, whoever next to you, right?
yeah,
So what we're doing right now is the same thing. If you don't fuel your mind, fuel your body, fuel your soul, fuel your heart with whatever that is, whether it's food, community, peace, love, journaling, whatever that thing is for you that you need, you can't do for anyone else. So you have to look at it like that. For you to be the best you can be, the best mom, wife, sister, whatever, you have to think of yourself first, and it's not selfish. So start little, do one thing and just do it consistently. That's it. Just whatever that one thing. I want to walk, so go for a walk. Do it. Walk every day. You want to eat more protein? Eat more protein. Just do that one thing and just be consistent at doing it.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for that metaphor. It's something we can take with
Yeah,
us. You're the best, Kelley. I'm so glad we finally had this conversation. Thanks for hanging
me
out with
too.
us.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here, and I hope it helps someone, and I'm just excited to be a part of the movement.
Yeah,
I'm happy it's a movement now.
yes, it is a movement, and guaranteed you've helped more than one person. Thank you so much. And Liberty listeners, thank you guys for hanging out with me and with Kelley. We will link to all the things she referred to. Your Instagram will link to the YouTube videos and all the ways that they can work with you if they so choose. So thank you guys for hanging out with us. Bye for now.